And the charging, we'll have a little talk about the charging. I moved the robot under another camera, and you can see here that the small display. And with a little bit of luck, I know it's small, you may be able to see it says 11.1 volt. It also says 50 C, and that means 50 degrees Celsius. That's the core temperature of the Raspberry Pi. That's okay, it can take more than that. And then it says Melina, and that's the name of the robot. The next line, it says 192.168.2.144, and that's the IP address of the robot that we need to get in contact with the robot. But it was the charging of the battery that we should talk about. And when the battery voltage approaches 10 volts, then it's definitely time to charge the battery, otherwise it will turn off by itself. So here at the corner, if I move it a little bit, there's a plug, and that's the balancing cable for the battery. The battery is down here. If we can see, well, you can see this blue one here. It's a 2.2 amp hour 3-cell battery that's connected to the baseboard here. But we don't need to remove it. We can just use this balancing plug. And we've got a charger. Maybe I can put it into the camera here. And on this end, there's 2 plugs. And there's one for 3-cell batteries, and in the other end there's 220 volts plug. So to charge it, we will insert the plug into the charger, and then we need 220 volt. So we'll connect that, and after a short while it will turn red, all 3 LEDs, saying that now it's charging all 3 cells. And it doesn't charge by more than 800 milliamps, it says here on the front. So 2.2 amp hours, it will take more than 2 hours, typically 3 to 4 hours to charge the battery fully if it's fully empty. So it will take some time, and you need to prepare for that. And when it's finished, then you should unplug it in the same way. So that means remove the 220 volts first, and then remove the balancing cable. And why is that? That's because this is a cheap charger, and it has got 4 wires here in the plug. And if you unplug that side first, some of the wires will lose contact before others, and this, unfortunately, from time to time will harm the charger. And the typical consequence is that one of the cells will not be charged anymore next time you use the charger. And that means you have 2 cells that are charged and one that is almost flat. It looks okay. You can get the voltage up to about 12 volts or something like that. But when you then discharge it down to 10 volts again, it means that the cell that was not charged will get all too low, and that will destroy the battery. So please be careful. It will not happen all the time. So, but pay attention. If it fails to be able to charge up to 12.45 volts, then it could be the reason. These chargers cost about from 30 to 40, 50 kroner. So they are cheap, and that's of course why they are selected, but they are also a bit weak.